Hi, I'm Lou the Midwife from Louise's antenatal classes. I run online antenatal classes and also birth plan chats. I've been asked by BabyBud Events to do a short video just to give you my tips on how to cope with pregnancy and coronavirus and in general the current situation. So firstly, I hope you're okay and that you are coping okay. My first tip would be to kind of limit or stay away from the news and social media. Obviously lots that gets put out there is really hyped up, and you should also be really careful on what you're reading and where it's come from. Always make sure it's from a reputable source so you know the information you're getting is correct. There is a lot of crazy information out there, so just need to make sure that you're getting it from the right place. But limit yourself to it, because if you listen to it too much, it's just going to put your anxiety up and just make you feel a little bit more scared. My second tip is to really just take things one day at a time. We don't know what's going to happen and we don't know how things are going to pan out, but in life we never know what's going to happen. And I think if you look too far in the future or start to let your mind run away, that causes lots of anxiety as well. So my tip would be just to take things one day at a time. When you wake up in the morning, make sure you and your family are all well, and that's as much for that day. Get through the day however you can, take up new activities or hobbies, do what you can do to get through each day, and then just wait for the next day rather than thinking weeks and weeks and weeks in advance. The next most important tip, sorry I have my tips here beside me, the next most important tip if you're pregnant is to continue keeping up with all your antenatal appointments. Your antenatal appointments are really important. It's really important that we see you in pregnancy. There are lots of other complications and illnesses and things that can come up in pregnancy that could be far more serious than coronavirus. So we need to make sure that we look after you and that we do get to see you at regular intervals, because unfortunately modern technology, we cannot do a blood pressure and urine online. It may come one day, but at the minute we don't have that facility. And also we need to feel your tummy and to see how baby's growing. So the guidance at the minute from our 3 colleges, so from the Royal College of Midwives, Obstetrics and Gynecology and Paediatrics, is we're going to limit how many times we see you. So the recommendation at the minute is that we're going to see you on face-to-face appointments about 6 times throughout your pregnancy. Each unit will vary, so some of your appointments will become on the telephone and or video call depending on the technology your hospital has, but we will try to see you 6 times face to face, and that is to do your blood pressure and to check your urine and to check that baby is growing okay. But we're going to limit those as much as possible. Please don't be afraid to come to hospital. Hospitals in general are very clean places, and obviously at the minute now they're going to be a lot more cleaner. And a lot of hospitals have cancelled lots of their clinics, so not on maternity but on the general side they've cancelled lots of clinics, and they have made the decision about women not having partners come with them. So check with your individual unit what they're doing, but the majority have said for antenatal appointments for women to come alone. This means that there's not many people in hospital at the minute, so the chance of you meeting lots of people on the way to your appointment is going to be very rare. So what my advice to you would be to wash your hands before you leave your house. Have your partner drive you to the hospital. When you get to the clinic you're having your appointment, wash your hands. After the appointment, wash your hands, and then obviously have your partner drive you home afterwards. As I said, we're only going to see you a few times throughout the pregnancy, so the likelihood is your initial booking appointment and your 16-week appointment may be done on the phone, or your 16-week appointment may be done with your 20-week scan. We're then not going to see you till 28 weeks. That's a big gap. So for those of you in early pregnancy, that big gap might put you outside of this time of the lockdown at the minute, and things may have changed by then. Hopefully they'll have settled down and they'll have got a little bit better. But we don't know how it's going to pan itself out. And then we'd see you every 4 weeks. There'll be quite big gaps between those appointments, so you're not having to come lots and lots to the hospital. But those appointments are really important, and we do need you to come. The other thing is, obviously, pregnancy complications can happen, and we want to kind of protect you from those. But things that might happen is you might not feel your baby move in between appointments, or you start to get a headache or things like that. And it's really important that you tell your midwife. What we don't want is women thinking, oh, I don't want to go in, they've got enough on their plate, or I don't want to worry them, and actually you then get a complication of pregnancy. We want to look after you. So if anything does happen and you are concerned in any way, then please phone your unit. Go into them to see them if you need to be seen. That's really, really important. And the last thing really is the situation is changing all the time. So the advice is changing all the time, and what's going on is changing all the time. So although at the minute the units are saying about not having visitors antenatally or partners with you antenatally, as things change, perhaps as things settle down, that might change. Some units are relaxing their visiting policies on the wards. So again, that might come and change in time. So how things are now doesn't mean it's going to be that way for when you go into labour. So again, when I was saying at the beginning about take each day at a time and try not to worry about it, if your labour is quite some time away, try not to worry about the situation, because we could be in a completely different place by then. And most of all, try and enjoy your pregnancy. I know we're in crazy times and it's difficult, but this is a really exciting time in your life. Having a new baby is always really exciting. So try every day to enjoy it, whether that's just lying on the sofa, put your hand on your tummy, just feeling the baby's movements and just remembering how magical that is. Try and do something every day to make you realise what a magical time this is. So they're my tips. You can follow me on social media. I'm at Lou Antenatal on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And my website is www.louantenatal.com. I am happy to answer questions at any time. So if you have questions, please feel free to message me or get in touch and I'll answer them anytime for you. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.